Hello, welcome to McChats Live here on McGTV, youtube.com/Mike McGTV. This is going to be a day chock full of podcasts since I already did a out to the Chat Cave episode, premiere episode with Max a little bit earlier in the day, and now back here on McChats Live with another member of the Three Geeks Network, Mr. Dan Baugher. I spelled your name right, correct, in the title card?
You did spell the name right.
Yay!
I am rather impressed.
Nice. And so the reason I have Dan on today is because actually I want to kind of just talk horror and exploitation movies with somebody because honestly I've been getting more and more into kind of B-ZGrade cinema as the years have gone by, but I'm not really as knowledgeable as possibly our guest here is. So I want to pick his brain a little bit about like what he considers to be good low grade cinema, low grade like horror or exploitation. So welcome, Dan.
Well, thank you, sir.
And I thought I'd maybe start out here asking you, like, when did you get really like let's say invested in the genre?
When I was in college, my night job to have money was a projectionist, and I did that in theaters until they went all digital and you didn't use film anymore. And every now and then the theater that I first worked at would show like Dolomite and stuff like that, and as in rather impressionable youth I got to watching those and seeking out other stuff.
So you actually got to like project the original prints and stuff?
Yeah.
Wow. Not only was that kind of cool just for like the history purposes, because yeah, Dolomite, oh my god, but also like 10 times dangerous too, right?
Not really. Most of the prints like from the 70s on weren't made of the blowy up stuff.
Okay.
That was like back in like the 50s and early 60s.
Okay, I was just kind of curious about that because I'm like I knew it was like whatever type of nitrate or something was in the film that made it flammable for a couple of minutes. So I was wondering like, yeah, if you ever got like a really old, like let's say like an old Roger Corman or something like that, and one night you're just feeling like, let's Inglorious Bastards this thing.
No, I never got to play with the old nitrate ones.
Well, that's cool. So nice. Dolomite, huh? Wow. Yeah. Now I'd actually I finally saw that all the way through about 2 years ago. Like I'd seen the sketches from like Mad TV, and of course, well, we'll get into how I kind of got into that later. But yeah, that's a fun low budget schlock fest for sure.
Well, you gotta love those because it was one dude's vision, and he just went out and he made a movie that he thought up in his head. I mean, from scouting location to getting stuff, that was all him. It wasn't film made by committee like we have today. So it was just one, like that. Yeah.
Now, sorry, was Rudy Ray Moore behind the story itself? Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, my favorite of his flicks was actually Disco Godfather, because it's just insane.
Yeah.
But I mean, I really respect like the artistic freedom of that kind of exploitation where it's just one guy that just goes out and has an idea and makes a movie.
Yeah, that's something I've come to really appreciate about the genre as I've been exposed to a little bit more, and especially after I learned a little bit more about behind the scenes stuff from people like Roger Corman and everything like that, where the idea is, yeah, it's all about the passion for the project more so than, how much the budget's going to be, and actually how, he's saying like big budget movies are essentially killing off our creativity in a way because of the fact that like you can't come up with creative solutions for technical issues and everything like that, or something just about the performance and everything. And I'd say, yeah, Dolomite, despite the editing and all the there's heart behind it, despite all of the technical stuff you could probably nitpick to death about it. Well, not so much.
Yeah. I mean, the fight scenes are awful, but still, you can't not watch it and smile. I mean,
Every time he says "rat soup eating motherfucker,"
there you go.
and you gotta appreciate the music because I love the theme for it. He's bad.
Oh, yeah.
The man is out of sight. I was like, love that theme. But music will play into our main topic today a little bit later. So, okay, so getting back, sorry, I'm gonna probably go on tangents quite like Kevin Smith a little bit here, but going back to your job as in the projection booth and so forth. So that's how you kind of first start getting exposed to that type of stuff. When did you start seeking it out, say for yourself outside of there?
Well, in the projection booth, you also have a lot of free time. So back then, I would actually bring like a portable DVD player, and I would just go out and find DVDs. They're easier to find now than they used to be. Like you can actually get the Rudy Ray Moore collection.
Yeah, it seems like everything's getting everything's getting like a Blu-ray release these days too.
Oh yeah, like I had a major kung fu couple years where I just went and found Asian cinema, and when I was looking for it, the Shaw Brothers stuff was all on like somebody recorded it off of late night TV and put it on a DVD.
Yeah,
like, I have the crappiest version of the Five Deadly Venoms. But
oh yeah,
now it's re-released by whoever owns the Shaw Brothers now, and now it's on Netflix. So
yeah, it's true. It's like you look on there now, and there's quite a bit of the drive-through stuff, and yeah, like you said, a lot of the Shaw Brothers stuff available now to kind of peruse through. But yeah, Five Deadly Venoms, and the sequel to there was a sequel to that called, was that Crippled Avengers or
no,
that was of a different.
The sequel was the Return of the Five Deadly Venoms, but the storyline didn't match.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I forgot you get like a lot of the Hong Kong cinema, but also like was it the ninja stuff too that came out quite a bit. I have seen a little bit of was it Shinobi? Is a really good title I found, like just for like 5 cents in a bin.
Most of the Shinobi stuff, if it's the late 90s, early 2000s, that was a Japanese TV show.
Oh, nice.
That they pretty much made into like a DVD series.
No, this is like an old VHS.
Okay,
like some title called Shinobi, but yeah,
then it's probably going to be awful.
Whatever, man. I mean, again, that kind of ties into the whole like homegrown feel of these types of movies, and the fact that like,
oh yeah,
you'll have stuff like the Godfrey Ho stuff that splices, like from what looks to be like professional looking like Asian stunt work to whatever they shot for really cheap in like 15 minutes in a forest with white actors.
Well, it's because he made a business out of buying up like half-made movies that they ran out of money, and they would just like archive it somewhere, and he would buy that footage and then finish it out in his own way. And it's kind of like when we took over Macross here and made it Robotech.
Yeah,
the series, same idea, slightly better execution on the Robotech then.
Mm-hmm. So I have to ask you this: how many? Do you have any DVD sets of, say, you find them every once in a while, the whole like 900 movies on 3 discs, drive-through experience, whatever? Do you have any of those cassettes of it in your library?
I try not to buy those.
Yeah,
because most of those you can find on like Netflix and Hulu, because they like to have them because they don't really have to pay for them, because they're mostly out of copyright.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the stuff that I try to buy. Hold on. I'm gonna see if I can root and try to find it.
No problem. I'm kind of just here appreciating your library there too. I'm like, oh my god, that's
Here we go. We can see that the Ultimate Ninja Collection.
yeah. Let's have.
That's got
Nice.
the Venom of the Venom of the Ninja Japanese series, and it is insane. Instead of doing just the half insane stuff of having like 5-element ninja and guys dressed like trees, this has like people dressed as cats climbing up trees, like a surfer ninja guy, and it's a series, and they try to act like it's like
serious?
Yeah, like it's serious, like deadpan.
Nice.
And I don't know how to take it.
It's kind of a grab. It just depending on whatever combination they come up with for whatever installment.
Pretty much. I mean, but it's just odd.
Nice. Before we get into the specific genre we're going to talk about a little leading into our feature, discussion. I was kind of wondering too, to go along with that thing about the idea of like this collection of, say, low grade cinema and stuff that we can find in from grindhouse collections or drive-through stuff. How much of an influence did MST3K play in your love for this type of cinema?
I'd have to say quite a bit. I caught on to Mystery Science Theater when I was in like junior high, and the idea of actually making fun of a movie that was shown to me was like something completely new. And I have fond memories of me and my best friend at the time. We rented the movie when it came out, and we were on the floor like crying because we were laughing so hard. And yeah, I mean, I've supported like every installment, like Riff Tracks and Cinematic Titanic and the new Mystery Science Theater. I'd say it's a big part of why I like bad cinema.
Yeah, and almost too, it kind of spoils you a little bit as well when you watch some of the stuff unriffed. Like I've seen Extraterrestrial Visitors, originally Pod People, which was originally Extraterrestrial Visitors, without the riff track, or not riff tracks, without the MST3K commentary, and it's so bizarre to not be able to hear Joel and Crow and oh my God, Servo, kind of in the background being like, huzzah!
Ooh, I got a weird side question for you there.
Yeah.
On the MST3K episode, in the beginning, there's the one joke about the Iron Maiden dude.
Yeah.
Does that guy ever show up in the actual movie?
Oh God. Wow.
I know they cut some stuff out,
Right.
They can't show some of it, but
yeah.
I'm always curious.
Well, oh my God, yeah. I wonder. I don't think I saw that in the original cut, actually, because oh God, I can't remember. Someone comment, later on and so forth. Did Iron Maiden guy make it through? Because I know stuff in the actual movie itself, not the MST3K version, was actually whittled down to size because they were trying to, I don't know what they were trying to do, ride the coattails of ET or something. But yeah. Huh. Yeah, I knew MST3K though had to truncate quite a bit out of that episode in particular, but
yeah, like I've watched the actual film of Mitchell without the commentary, and it's much more of a pain to get through.
My. There's quite a few. I like one of my favorites out of it was it had to be a tie-up between the skydivers and the creeping terror, the crawling terror.
Yeah, with the giant carpet monster.
Yeah, and like it's funny because you get into those like really cheesy, very bad horror movies, but then you read about like what happened to some of these members of the production team afterwards. Like the producer was on the run from the law for, I think, murder. I can't remember, but yeah, like he was like the main guy in that movie, and he like went on the lam right after that film. So it's like insane. And yeah, the Skydivers, I'd have to say, is one of my favorite ones to listen to.
Yeah, I'd have to go with Mitchell, Pod People, and like any of the shorts collections were great.
Yeah, the shorts were pretty good. Oh, one of the later episodes I really enjoyed was, now we're just talking about MST3K, but whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Stump Rockchest. Oh God,
Oh
I can't.
God, yeah.
Why can't I remember the name of that movie?
Oh,
you know which one I'm talking.
That's the one where the kid's running from the evil cult and there's Rosdower?
No, it's it's got what's his name in it, who like, come on, Skull, get out of my head.
Oh geez.
It's a space movie.
I don't even remember, man. Looks like I gotta watch some more Mystery Science Theater now.
I don't know why I'm blanking on it, because it's like one of my favorites. But yeah, they come up with all the different names for the really well built dude. He's like,
is that Laser Blast?
No, not Laser. Laser Blast has the claymation like dinosaurs in it.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on.
Yeah. Sorry, everybody. We're going to take it because this is going to bother me for the rest of the day. Like, we'll be talking about Vengeance of the Zombies later, and I'll be still hung up. Space Mutiny. Oh, my God. Space Mutiny. Yeah. That's a Mike Nelson episode. But, yeah, it's like, it's one of those where it's just like you just love all the irreverence that's going on. And, yeah, everyone's trying their darndest in the movie, but whatever, man. It's funny and awful. But I guess that is kind of a good segue, because Mystery Science Theater dealt quite a bit with a lot of old school horror movies, and quite a few times it kind of steeped into this certain genre of, like, I guess Italian, made, or European made horror films and giallo stuff from time to time. What's your kind of history with those types of movies?
I love, like, Lucio Fulci was the first one that I watched. The first director, because I love zombie, and I like tracked down like City of the Living Dead, and The Beyond is still like one of my favorite horror movies. But I started really liking Argento's, not so much the bloody ones, but more the mystery ones I really liked, like Cat and Nine Tails.
Yeah, Suspiria.
Yeah, Suspiria was awesome. I really liked the one I can't remember the name of right now, where the guy's a musician in Rome, and he sees a murder of the psychic lady, like 4 stories above that, and he goes to investigate. Crap, I forget the name of it now, but it's an awesome movie, and you should find it.
This does sound familiar, because what do you think of, while I look for that, it's like, what do you think of recent Argento?
It's really hit and miss for me.
Like, for example, say Dracula.
I couldn't even finish the Dracula one. I actually did like his Phantom of the Opera version, but yeah, the Card Player I didn't like. Do You Like Hitchcock? I thought was actually pretty good. It's just, I don't know. It seems like every other one is good for me.
Yeah, he's kind of hit or miss.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he just doesn't have the budget anymore to make movies,
or if he's just tired.
Yeah, I don't know, or if it's his daughter writes something and he feels bad if he doesn't film it.
Right. Have you seen what he? Oh man, yeah, the most recent giallo he did, which was called Giallo with Adrian Brody.
I have not seen it yet.
It's interesting.
That does not sound good.
Yeah, my tone of voice should tell you which kind of interesting it is, but it's kind of, yeah, it definitely is one of those hit or miss type moments for me with him.
Gotcha.
But Like I am like in love with just the visual design of Suspiria and things like that, and the the idea of like placement in with regards to like sometimes in that movie itself, it looks almost like staging for a play, almost like it doesn't look like it's taking place in a natural world, but that's kind of the cool surreal aspect of it. Like when they're trying to get to sleep and they, all the reds like coming throughout the room, and there's like a figure underneath the sheets of a bed and everything like that. And it's so like weird, but at the same time, there's this cool, like, big production value going on with regards to like, it's almost like a musical, except it's fucking with your mind.
Yeah. Well, it's like one of them, Deep Red was the one I couldn't remember.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But there's one that has, it's one of his mid-70s ones, but it's got this beautiful crane shot that goes on for forever. It just goes up this building and around, and I'm like, wow, that's really technically awesome. But that's something he seems to have lost in his later films.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're just not. I mean, they kind of feel slapped together to me. Like they don't have all the nice touches, and I don't know why.
It's, yeah, like you said, it's either because of it's like, yeah, his daughter comes up with something, he's just like, all right, fine, or it's more like,
Yeah,
he just kind of settled into his role. He's like, oh, I was really great in the 70s.
like you've got Suspiria, and then you've got Inferno, right? And his fans waited forever for him to make the third,
Yeah, it's part of the trilogy of it.
Witch movie,
Witch movie,
and that one came out, and it was kind of like, meh.
That
it
was
wasn't horrible, but it wasn't bad or good. It was just kind of like in the middle.
Was that La Mother of Tears?
Yeah,
that was the third one. Yeah, 2007, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I was kind of wondering.
Cool parts, but it just wasn't as creepily weird as the earlier ones. I don't know why.
Mm-hmm. If you had to choose, like, who do you think, maybe director-wise or writer-wise, or even with regards to franchises right now or movies right now, is there any particular movie or artist they feel has kind of encapsulated that feeling that you do get with certain films of that genre from back then, like an Argento or Fulci type style?
There's a couple movies. I'd have to say Dagon, actually. If you've ever seen that.
Dagon? No, I haven't seen Dagon.
Go see that. It's basically it's a film version and extension. Hold on.
No problem. We'll be right back here. But he's back. Yay! I muted you, man. Sorry.
I believe it was done by guy that did Reanimator.
Oh,
yeah, that
Gordon.
People. I'm gonna kill somebody at some point. All right.
Was it Stuart Gordon?
I believe so. If I had my DVD in any kind of order, I could find it.
No problem.
But
I know it's very like impromptu, but yeah, I think it was Stuart Gordon who did that one.
Yeah, it's like an extension and retelling of Lovecraft's Shadow over Innsmouth.
Okay.
Which is actually really cool. There's not a whole lot of movies that do that anymore. Like I like Carpenter's In the Mouth of Madness.
Mm-hmm.
And even Ghosts of Mars, I think, got some of like the creepiness and the weirdness right.
And that was like 90. Was it 99 or in the 2000s at that point?
That was early 2000s, I think.
Early 2000s. Okay. Yeah, despite having an Ice Cube in it.
Yeah. And part of the soundtrack was by Buckethead.
Mm-hmm. I'd have to say. Oh, go ahead if you have another one. Sorry.
No. Go.
I'd have to say like a couple. I've seen a couple of things, I guess, in recent years that I felt kind of capture the creep factor for me a little bit.
Yeah.
definitely what you were saying with some of the Carpenter stuff. When I was rewatching a lot of the Barker stuff too, uh, there's a lot of like kind of hidden gems I feel throughout the whole thing. Like what was the one I really kind of got enraptured with besides a Hellraiser, the first Hellraiser really. Or no, Hellraiser 2 was, I thought, miles ahead too, and for the fact that there was still a lot of like good, practical effects work taking place there too.
Oh yeah.
But what was
I
his
really
one?
like the spinning monolith in the middle too.
Yeah, with the faces and so
Weird.
forth. What was his one movie that I like fell in love with this movie when I first saw it? But
Nightbreed.
Nightbreed, yes, Nightbreed. It's not necessarily great or good even, but I love the design work in that
Yeah.
movie, and
Plus,
it's got atmosphere to it. Definitely, it's got this very unsettling, murky, dark atmosphere to it, mostly because a lot of stuff happens underground. But
and you got to admit that David Cronenberg sells that shit, dude.
yeah, I think a lot of it too has to deal with the fact that Cronenberg is just creepy as hell
Yeah,
in
this
that
creepy
movie.
button face man. It's like, yeah.
As soon as he shows up as his therapist, I'm like, oh, it's clearly him. He's clearly messing with him. Everything's gonna be this guy's fault. Oh man. But I'd say a lot of Barker stuff I felt really kind of, I mean, it wasn't too far separated from, what was taking place in late 70s with regards to horror and Italian movie making. And I feel it captures a lot of that sensibility.
But when you look at Barker, though, I mean, that's only like maybe 15 years removed from that.
Yeah, true. That's what
Like,
that's what I meant. It's like, yeah, it's not too far removed. With
yeah, like
regards to today, I'm not sure really.
I'd have to say House of the Devil. I just remembered when you were talking. I really like that flick.
What year did that one come out? Was it?
Fairly recently. It had to be, I'd say probably 2010-ish.
Okay. House of the Devil. I'll have to check.
Yeah, I mean they were so detailed because the story is supposed to happen in the 80s. They got like old 80s like Pepsi cups and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a major plus for your genre film.
Yeah. I'd have to say, I guess there was one that did kind of do the trick for me a little bit, and was one this year, actually, the Goodnight Mommy. It's not necessarily overly gory. It's got some pretty uncomfortable moments in it, but I believe it's an Austrian film.
Huh.
And it's about like these two kids who they're just living out isolated in the country with their mother who's just recently had like facial surgery. So every once in a while, you never really see what her face. I'm halfway through the movie, you see her normal face, but like as she's recovering and stuff like that, like she's got like the bloodied eyes and things like that, and you see like kind of the disfigurement in like silhouette from time to time. But then these kids start to suspect that she's not really their mother, and so they like tie her to a bed and are like questioning her and everything like that. And at one point, super glue her mouth shut, but then she can't eat, so they have to cut her mouth open, and it's with scissors, and it's really like it's fucked up, and it kind of loses me a little bit in the end because it makes way for some really kind of chintzy CGI at the end.
God damn it!
But up until then, it's got this really unsettling, like just twisted mood about it that I was like, dude, I can totally see this working as as let's say like a Fulci film almost back in the day and so forth. It doesn't have zombies or anything like that in it, but it doesn't have to. It's just fucked up.
They have to stab her eye with something because that's like Fulci's thing.
Yeah, like I was surprised it didn't go into that territory. Like basically her skin is like sensitive to sunlight since her operation. So what they do is they put a magnifying glass to her and hold her head in place and like start burning parts of her.
Oh geez.
So I'm like, Jesus. But no, part of me was thinking like this could definitely be like if this was done back in the mid 70s or late 70s, this could definitely be like a double feature with something along the lines of, I don't know, even I'm trying to think of something that's just as demented without being overly gross.
The children.
Yeah, maybe.
Uh, or Beware Children at Play, or
Dude, Beware Children at Play. The best last 10 minutes of a movie ever, with kids who are clearly terrible at playing dead.
I gotta say though that the best part of that film for me is the blatant overacting of the kid camping out with his dad.
Yeah. What was he doing? It's like,
because they're just like the happiest people when they're singing songs, and like Dad's doing his whole Beowulf thing, and it's just
right,
like,
Grendel the cannibal is gonna eat you or something.
Yeah. It's just like, wow, I've never seen anybody act like that ever.
And
in real life.
I love the fact that a whole movie surrounds the idea that this stupid kid doesn't understand that his dad is like mad with fever because his leg's broken, and not to take anything he says seriously. Like, I'm like, that kid's enough to understand, like, okay, my dad's an idiot, I should go get help, instead of being like, let me cut into him and start eating. It's like,
I don't know. I mean, well, the film's premise is pretty faulty at best, so, you know.
Well, it's like, which aspect? The cult of kids living in the woods that should have been found by now, or the religious zealots who want to burn them?
Or the author guy that brings his own kids. I mean, you know, I don't know.
The smartest thing to do. Well, I don't even know why he was involved in the investigation to begin with, but
because he was smart, so his friend brought him in.
But didn't say like, hey, leave your kids at home. Leave your kid at home and your wife while you're at it.
Yeah, really. I don't know.
Jeez. Well, I mean, that I have to say, I owe a lot of my kind of becoming aware of this style of film and, you know, being a little bit more open to it, to another thing that we kind of have in common. We like a certain internet personality who makes light of a lot of these films, and that would be Brad Jones, the cinema snob.
Yeah.
For my money, he's my favorite internet reviewer right now. He's been for a while, just because, you know, it's one thing to really kind of harp on bad movies as it is and, you know, find things to complain about, but he really gets into the idea of like what MST3K tried to do, and is like, he's actually riffing on stuff he really enjoys thoroughly.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like that appeal. It's like, it's all done in good fun, but yeah, stuff like Children at Play. He did eventually get around to Suspiria, I know, but yeah, it's like, thanks to like a lot of his videos and a lot of his, you know, reviews of certain things, I've gotten more interested in, the older type of, you know, down and dirty type of filmmaking, such as the one we're going to be talking about today. A little Vengeance of the Zombies.
Yeesh.
Now, just a little bit of some background here. Vengeance of the Zombies was made in 1973, directed by Leon Klimovsky, and stars Paul Naschy. Now, Paul Naschy...
you got to repeat him 3 times now.
Oh, yeah, he'll show up now in my mirror. Is that how it goes? But you've actually seen him in a couple of other things, correct?
Yeah, he's in a lot of European werewolf flicks.
Mm-hmm.
They're usually like low budget. Like it. This is like the era of the horror movie that wants to be like a Times Square kind of naughty flick, but not that much. And that's pretty much like Paul Naschy's specialty, you know.
Like, to the point that they're like, we're not actually going to do porn, but we're going to get pretty close to doing porn.
Yeah, it's like, oh, we got a naked chick, and here's Paul Naschy, and he's, I don't know, here for some reason in all of these movies. and then we're back to vampires again. There you go.
Mm-hmm. Well, in this one,
go.
In this one, definitely the term zombie, I mean, it is fairly accurate, I guess. They are brought back from the dead.
Yeah, I mean, this is more of like the Caribbean zombie, like
Mm-hmm.
That one Bela Lugosi flick, whose name I don't remember now. But it's the classical zombie. It's not the you know
Blood and guts
Night of the
zombie.
Living Dead. Where
Yeah.
a zombie horde. This is like I bring this dude back because I felt like it, and now he's my slave. Kind of zombie.
And it's weird because as I was watching this, like we actually watched this a couple weeks ago. We planned to do this a little bit sooner, but schedule permitting. But I watched this a couple weeks ago, rewatched it again, and this weird thought went through my head throughout most of it. Whenever the zombies are doing stuff, I'm like, wow, it's like they're a more effective version of the Plan 9 reanimated people. Like they're not. I mean, they're slow moving, sure, but everyone's slow moving at least. Whenever someone gets ready to die in this movie, like everything just kind of slows down to a crawl. And
Yeah, I mean, I can't argue with this at all. Yeah, it's like they're like the victims in the movie that just like lose all kinds of conscious thought, like when the bad guy is still 5 feet away from them. So you just get the zombie creeping closer and closer in slow motion, and they're apparently frozen with fear, just sitting there and waiting for the zombie to get them.
It is kind of ridiculous. So the plot of this, because there is a plot, barely, is that there's a guy going around killing women, but then these women are brought back to life. And this is all taking place in London, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're brought back to life by a guy who's clearly not Indian.
Yeah.
Like an Indian Swami.
It is using some kind of voodoo. I think the whole idea was he got like he's made this like master class between Indian philosophy and like Caribbean voodoo, and he just kind of smashes them together, and then he makes zombies.
Yeah, and then there's also his brother, but it's all played by Paul Nash, all played by the same guy, and also he plays Satan too. So it's kind of like, okay, a nice trio of roles. Why the hell not? But yeah, it's about like him basically making an army of like raised from the dead women, and then there's a redhead whom I'm trying to remember her name now. What's her name?
I can't help you on that one.
When I was watching this, I was very in and out. I'm not gonna lie. The only thing that kept reeling me back in was the soundtrack.
No, I tried to watch this. I mean, it was the only thing that I had on, and I sat myself right there, and I had lunch, and I still couldn't get the damn plot.
Yeah, I was so kind of turned because it starts out with like a resurrection, as it were, and
yeah,
it just goes apeshit from there. Like 5 minutes into it, someone's already getting like killed in a mansion, and then 6 minutes in, apparently the credits start, and it's got this really happening beat going on with it, like totally inappropriate music for this movie.
Oh yes, very, very, very much so. Now, see, I saw the first killing as kind of like the intro to like a James Bond movie.
Okay.
Where it's like the end of another mission.
Yeah.
You get the beginning, But I don't know. Like some old dude dies, and it's the main chick's father.
Right.
She goes to see the Indian guy, and then she likes him so much that she moves down to see the Indian guy.
Yeah, she like moves in with him.
Has a brother and some kind of like Torgo-like assistant.
Yeah, and then there's another woman involved who.
Yeah, and I just kind of lost it somewhere there.
But I was trying to like follow along. It's like, okay, so is she infatuated with him, or has the other guy hypnotized her into doing this? Or I was like, it's kind of a nice grab bag of random cultish plots here, and then all of a sudden there's
that bag of what the hell? Let's just throw it in there.
Yeah, and then there's like like half hour in, there's that weird like devil's ceremony where he comes in dressed as Satan,
Yeah.
and the
You
chief.
think somebody would notice. I did like his bad guy masks though.
Yes.
They got stupider as it went on, but I like the kind of weird Jack the Ripper one he had the first time.
I'm trying to search it right now, but yeah, it's like, oh yeah, it's like Jack the Ripper, but then there's also like they got weird, not quite Guy Fawkes masks, but they look like mimes with like star eyes and stuff.
And then the last one, he's like some kind of weird Incan deity guy.
Well, I mean, that's him in his full on, that's his full on like Indian regalia, apparently. But
but isn't he Satan too? I mean,
yeah.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, he's this dude in the title card, I think. Yeah, that's him.
Well, no. I just mean like I don't like is he actually like a practicing Indian guy, or is he Satan?
The way I don't know, the way I was interpreting this was that he was just playing multiple roles. Because I mean, he and the other guy are two separate people.
Okay.
And the other guy ends up like trying to save her at the end and sacrifices himself in a way. But yeah, I just interpret that like she's just envisioning him as being Satan, I guess.
I just figured, like, as pertains to the ending, they didn't have enough like, budget or like somebody who knew camera tricks enough to do like a split personality.
Yeah.
So you magically had a twin brother.
Well, no, the one guy turns into Two-Face. The one guy's Two-Face at the end of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like,
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah. At what point were you kind of like, I really want to switch to something else with this movie?
No. Actually, that didn't happen until the very end with the stupid groan ending.
Okay.
I mean, are we gonna spoil it? It's an old movie that nobody's gonna
go
watch.
for it. Yeah, it's on archive.org, so it's not like you're gonna lose money or anything. You can go watch it for yourself and enjoy it. That's how I sent you the link to it through archive.org.
Yeah. So it turns out that the main lady that we thought was like the damsel in distress the whole time was actually a bad person who's now going to take over the world with zombies. The end.
Apparently, yep.
I don't. To a rockin' 70s soundtrack.
Yeah. Again, I'm just gonna keep coming back to that too, because that soundtrack, man. Here's the whole deal. Ever since I started getting into stuff like the Italian horror movies and the cannibal movies and things like that, is that at one point or another, I do expect like some kicking tunes to be taking place at very inappropriate times. Yeah, no doubt. Or there's gonna be scene transitions like there were with, say, like Ferox, where it would go from what's going on in the jungle to back to New York. And then it's got that funky soundtrack going on over top of it. And it is a mood shift, definitely. It is. You are very much like jolted by it, but at the same time, I'm along for the ride still. Okay. This one, though.
Whoa, did you just bring up Cannibal Ferox?
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite cannibal films.
Yeah, dude. Again, I owe that to Cinema Snob at first, because I'm like, I got to see this to believe it. And then when I saw the full thing, I'm like, holy shit.
Oh yeah. When I watched, or when I saw the Snob the first time, when I found him and I started like watching all his back stuff, I was like, saw that one, didn't see that, saw that, need to find that one. So I just use it as a checklist of things I have to watch.
But again, the one thing that kind of takes me out of it for the movie is the animal killings.
Yeah, that's true.
And there's one in here that's kind of oh man,
you're right.
The chicken, right?
Yeah.
And then that chicken actually got killed.
Well, I mean, that one I'm gonna go along with, because at least they're probably gonna eat it for the crew.
Yeah, okay, I guess. Waste
the budget that they had here. I mean, somebody just made Paul Naschy a nice a chicken soup or something.
Yeah, that's how he got paid. Sure. But yeah, just a heads up for those who might watch this on archive.org. There is some animal cruelty in this movie. And I will say, out of everything that takes place in here, out of all the what the fuckery that's going on, That is the one that I was like, oh man. I knew I shouldn't have been surprised that it was in there, but it is. I was just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty much a staple of 70s horror, really.
Yeah, that is true. It is very much like what a lot of those movies are known. Like the most of the outrage about the movies doesn't come from their content with regards to story or effects. It comes from the fact that it's like, you actually cut the head off a turtle.
You sick bastards.
Jesus, you actually had your actors kill animals on camera. I'm like, oh my god. But
why did you throw that one out of the Jeep? What the hell?
well, with this one, Vengeance of the Zombies, what would you say if you were going to rewatch it? Like, what would you be kind of looking forward to the most with this?
I want to watch this again? God damn it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you had to, if someone threatened to cut your head off like a turtle, it's like, watch Vengeance again. What would you be looking forward to?
I gotta say, I kind of like the like about halfway in, you get the kind of mystery of who's killing people, which is like instantly thrown out the window. But while that lasts, that I think is the most redeeming part of the film, when the killer's just kind of sneaking around, cutting people's throats and stuff.
Yeah, honestly, it has nothing to do with the title thing at all. It has nothing to do with the zombie portion at all. It's just like, yeah, he's going around doing this stuff. At one point, he does it while, what is it, the police chief or something is like having sex with a lady. It's like mood killer. Damn. But yeah, I'd agree with you. It's like, okay, at least there is some semblance of a mystery taking place here.
Yeah, but then it just gets thrown out the window because it's Paul Naschy again.
Mm-hmm. Anytime she has a seduction scene with him in this house, where he's just like staring at her intently, I'm just like, all right, so clearly he's involved in some way.
Yeah, I mean, but that's like any Paul Naschy movie. It has the same thing.
It's like whenever someone has what's his name, Peter Stormare in anything these days, it's like, oh, he's obviously playing the villain or the fucked up person in this movie.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Like, you don't have the guy that plays the Kurgan as anything but the angry, bad guy.
Clancy.
Yeah.
Burton? Yeah. Clancy Brown. Sorry, Clancy Brown. Yeah. The Kirk. It's better to burn out than to fade away.
Yeah, I mean, he's the only reason that makes the only thing that makes Pathfinder viewable.
Right. Well, getting back to this movie.
Sorry.
What's one scene that you'll take away from this movie that'll, whenever you think of Vengeance of the Zombies, be it fondly or not fondly, what's the first image that comes to mind for you?
The part where he's giving his fake ass yoga class to all the people, and then just like strange bullshit after strange bullshit keeps piling up. That's what I'll take away from here, because that just makes me think of California people for some reason. Is he just like talking nonsense, and then some dancing chick comes out with I don't even know what's going on anymore. That's what I will take from Vengeance of the Zombies.
I'd have to say the scene I'll remember will be, like the weird demonic sacrifice thing in the middle. But the image I'll take away from it is this close up of like the Weasley looking doctor with the glasses and the mustache. And then right behind him is the big black stable hand with like his burnt face, but he's wearing like his flannel shirt and just like laughing. Like it's a goofy image. And as soon as that scene happens, like just pause the movie at any point in that scene, because there's a bunch of stuff in there that you'll either like raise your eyebrow at or you'll have a good laugh over. Like I said, like this title card here is it just scratches the surface of what's going on in this scene. Like that other lady shows up dressed in gold, like, you know, she's painted gold essentially, and he starts off wearing like this kicking like Hugh Hefner robe, Satan does, and then it's insane. This movie is so insane, but I will admit I did have a good laugh with it. But of course, I'll always remember it for its so appropriate 70s soundtrack. Oh man. But dude, I enjoyed this. This was fun just kind of chatting about stupid stuff here and having a laugh.
You had a much better time with this movie than I did, I think. But
oh, you okay, so I mean there's all deal. You took one or two things away from, not necessarily things you'll like to celebrate, but but overall you're saying this was kind of a loss for you.
This is I mean, the movie wise, I mean, the show and the podcast is cool, but the movie wise, it like hits right in the middle, you know, where you don't want to hit. Because I mean, horror to me is like, if it's scary, it's good, and it's on this side of the spectrum. If it's horrible, it's highly amusing. It's over here, where you don't want to hit is like smack in the middle.
Well, I'll tell you what, though, we'll try to diversify quite a bit with regards to. I'm definitely want to have you back, and we'll just talk, you know, either not scary or scary horror movies. I'll kind of do a random like roulette thing with it, where I'll randomly pick a movie title, and then we'll just see if we can find it and share it and watch it, and then we'll come back and give our thoughts on it, because I like this kind of thing. It's like it'd be fun to kind of revisit. But I got some ideas for some movies that I'm not sure if you've seen or not, but the Loch Ness Horror, for example.
I don't think so.
Oh, well, get ready, because you were saying it's on the spectrum of it's scary or it's not scary. Get ready to go wet.
Like if you completely botch your film, but you're trying so hard, I mean, that pretty much instantly makes it hilarious.
It's got the best death by getting your head eaten by a dinosaur scene ever.
That has promise.
That has promise. I'll see if I can find a link to send it to you, but maybe that should be our next one. And it's got way cartoony Scrooge McDuck Scottish accents in it. So
oh God.
I'm excited to show that to you. But we'll try to maybe dabble with some good horror as well. Is there anything like you would want to recommend me to kind of check out?
Okay. We'll get your endurance up with some of these, and then someday we need to watch the Killing of Satan.
The Killing of Satan. All right.
It is a Filipino film on apparently what they think Christianity and sainthood is.
Oh, cool! It's right in my wheelhouse because I'm half Filipino. Why not?
It's awful.
The Killing of Satan.
Basically, Lando becomes a saint because, and his name is Lando.
Oh, I was about, Billy D's in this?
No. You wish. But no, he becomes a saint because his uncle was one, and among other powers, he gets the power to block bullets with his arms. And he is up against the Prince of Magic and Satan himself, whose plan is to just keep naked women in a cage in a cave while they dance around it wearing long red underwear.
Oh, you have me at magic bullet arms. Hang on a second.
I mean,
that's icing on the cake.
That just keeps giving and giving.
I don't know why. I have a feeling. Oh my God! 2 minutes. I see like a thumbnail of this guy. Is Lando? He has the mustache and the Jerry curl hair.
Yes.
White eyes.
Yes.
Oh, good! It's on YouTube. Yay! I might just watch it now.
I had to buy my copy.
I am looking forward to this, sir.
Fair enough.
Well, we'll see. You say I have to get my endurance up for other stuff, so we'll see.
I don't know. I mean, you made it through Cannibal Ferox in this one, so.
Yeah. Well, no, I've seen Cannibal Ferox. I've seen Cannibal Holocaust.
Holocaust is the better film.
Yeah, it's way better than
Yeah,
Ferox.
yeah.
Ferox is excessive,
Yeah, that's
but
one way to put it.
Holocaust in and of itself actually has some good atmosphere going for it.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'll definitely I'll have to check that out then. The Killing of Satan. And you've been listening to me and Dan talk about just our movie taste in general when it comes to exploitation and horror, but also Vengeance of the Zombies. Like I said, it's over on archive.org right now. Have yourself a laugh. You won't be disappointed. Heads up, though, it does contain naughty bits here and there, but so does every movie from that time period.
Pretty much.
So we'll have to actually call this, because if we're gonna make this a regular segment, we have to come up with a cool kind of segment title for it. So brainstorm us some ideas, dude, of what we can call it.
I can try.
All right, but you gonna be on the Three Geeks tomorrow night?
Yeah.
All right, because check us out tomorrow night. Definitely, it'll be the 3rd, and we'll be kind of giving our best and worst of 2015 on there. So once again, you've been listening to Mike McG and Dan Baugher from Three Geeks Network. Thanks again, Dan. It's been fun just to have a laugh about this and talk about really stupid stuff, but fun, stupid stuff. But y'all have a good night. Thanks for listening to McChats live here on McGTV, youtube.com/Mike McG TV.
See ya.